There are many ways to get around New York City, and more riders are choosing to go on two wheels. To help foster safety and awareness, Ford Motor Company has come up with a virtual reality experience for teens and their parents.
It's a full immersion thing. It's very, very cool.
Ford's Wheel Swap VR experience tests riders' awareness with everyday traffic scenarios.
They have a responsibility to keep themselves safe, but also to make sure that they afford drivers in cars room.
Each scenario includes visual clues that can help alert riders to potentially dangerous situations.
The driver that opens up the car door, if you look in their side view mirror, you can see that they're moving toward the door to open it.
By helping riders develop situational awareness, Ford hopes to ultimately steer real-life behavior.
There is a sense, or should be a sense, of some level of social responsibility for safety and for traffic flow.
Wheel Swap is part of Ford's Driving Skills for Life program. Tina Trin, VOA News, New York.
Drones are no longer just being used in the military or recreationally. They are now more accepted and used among many industries as a tool to save money. A disaster area is an example of a place where a drone can provide a bird's eye view of the situation to help insurance companies assess the damage. And that's just the beginning.
For getting a family paid a claim faster after a hurricane, to help somebody buy a property or manage the development where they're going to live, you really see this technology start to reach down and affect everyday people.
From construction to developing infrastructure, businesses around the world are seeking out drone services from a company such as DroneBase.
And we've flown in all 50 states and over 70 countries.
A drone service can provide information to a company quicker than was ever before, which translates to cost savings for the company and ultimately the consumer. Elizabeth Lee, VOA News, Los Angeles.
Ever been confused about which way to go when using a map on a phone? Google Maps has a new feature called Live View, using augmented reality to help people find their way. With Live View, raise the phone and point to a nearby building. Google's vast archive of street images, along with GPS built into the phone, can determine a person's orientation. Directional arrows and street names appear over the live image from your phone's camera. Is it safe? Live View reminds users to lower the phone when walking. Occasionally, this causes an interruption in the feature, taking a few seconds to reorient. With the camera lowered, 2 short vibrations signal the next turn. Google users are just testing Live View now, and there are a few bugs to work out. But it may herald a wave of new services mixing the digital world with the real world. Matt Dibble for VOA News, San Francisco.
In competitive swimming, timing is everything, but trying to keep tabs on that time while you're underwater isn't easy.
You're always guessing, and you're never getting a specific time down to the hundredth of a second. If you wear a wrist tracker, which you can, even though it does interfere with your technique, so most swimmers prefer not to wear a wristwatch, you still have to stop to be able to really see it.
Dan Eisenhardt and his team decided to put the information where swimmers couldn't miss it, right in their goggles.
So you can see the metrics floating in front of you in real time.
The Form Swim goggles use an augmented reality display to show a customizable set of 12 different metrics, including split times, stroke rate, and pace.
This is really about improving how an athlete trains and how an athlete can measure their performance time over time.
The goggles sync via Bluetooth with a mobile app to allow swimmers to track their progress. They retail for $200. Tina Trin, VOA News, New York.
Tractors like these have been using self-driving technology for years. But now, John Deere, the U.S. equipment manufacturer, is putting sensors and cameras inside its machines to give farmers an edge in the field.
So what we're doing is we're combining cameras and computer vision to identify weeds in real time and spray just the weeds.
It's like facial recognition technology, except for crops. An algorithm learns to identify a weed, then in the field, a camera sends a photo of the plant and its location to an algorithm that quickly decides if it is a weed.
That deep learning algorithm identifies the weed versus the crop, and then it sends the location of that weed to the nozzles down here, and those nozzles spray just the weeds.
All to take some of the guesswork out of farming. Michelle Quinn, VOA News, Las Vegas.
be right back.